Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over our team selection for Game Week 24 and any transfers that I'm thinking of making. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below, leave a comment how are you currently getting on in double Game Week 23, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, I know there was a game last night, Liverpool-Everton, where they did win 2-0, but I didn't have any players playing in the game, so my points haven't changed, so I'm not going to go over my current game week. It's terrible. I'm on 38 points. I'm like 7 million in the world on the game week rankings, so that's not great. I've got like 5 players left to play, but Haaland potentially injured, whether Ake starts, it's a whole situation. I'm not having a great game week, so I'm kind of really looking forward towards game week 24. And in goal, we do have Kepa, who's got Southampton at home. I'm expecting a clean sheet in this game. Southampton have just lost their manager. Hopefully it isn't the same situation with Leeds where they lose their manager and then they go and have a really good game. Hopefully Chelsea do win this game relatively comfortably. I don't know if Kepa's really going to be making any saves, so I can only really hope for 6 points this game, and that's like the ceiling, because I don't think Southampton are going to have a lot of attacks. I feel like if you're a Reece James owner in this game, you're going to be licking your lips. I think he's going to do well this game. Even João Felix as well, I think a lot of people are bringing him in. I think he's going to start most of the games for Chelsea, and yeah, Chelsea players I think are decent options now. I know that we had quite a struggle earlier on in the season with those players, but they seem to have sorted it out now. I know they're not really necessarily like winning games, but they are just playing a little bit better, and I know they've got so many players, so a lot of rotation is going to happen, but I think there's certain players that are going to play every single game. Your Kepas, your Reece James, your João Felix, and stuff like that. Mount, not so much, but I don't really think he's so much of an option at the moment anyway. But they don't blank in 25, they don't blank in 28. So yeah, Chelsea players I think are decent. I know they've not really got any doubles coming up, but at the same time, they're a decent option. They've got Everton at home, I believe, in Game Week 28, which is a really, really nice game to have during that blank. Either way, I've got Kepa in goal. He's got Southampton at home, expecting 6 points from him there. The back line, we've got Trippier, who's got Liverpool at home, Ake, who's got Forest away, and Shaw, who's got Leicester at home. Definitely playing Shaw this week. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to bench him for the 12-pointer, and I'm going to play him, and he's going to get 2 points against Leicester. I know that's what's going to happen, but it is what it is. I can't not play him again. And then Ake, who's got Forest away. I'm not 100% set on whether I'm going to be playing Ake in this game or not. Forest away is obviously a nice fixture for City, but if he's going to just get rotated, then I might just play White, who's got Villa away, which I don't know if Arsenal are going to keep a clean sheet away at Villa. I'd much rather play Ake, who's got Forest away, but is he going to play? Is he going to get to 60 minutes? I'm not sure. We'll have to see what happens with like the Arsenal game and stuff on Wednesday. See if he starts that. Obviously, we've got Champions League back as well, and I feel like Ake is probably going to play that instead of the Forest game because, you know, Pep should probably win that game with relative ease. He shouldn't have to play a strong 11. I mean, that could be a game where even Haaland gets benched and stuff, and De Bruyne and Mahrez and stuff. But either way, we'll have to wait and see. Trippier, who's got Liverpool at home as well. I'm not really sure how this is going to go because Newcastle have been conceding quite a bit recently. Not like a lot of goals, but they have been conceding one. Like they even conceded to Bournemouth. So yeah, Liverpool at home I think could be quite a tough fixture. I could see this being 0-0 though at the same time. I think that Liverpool may be back in their stride. I know it's only been one game, but they did look quite good. Both goals were really, really good. And yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to be playing Trippier at home to Liverpool. I can't not play him. Anyway, that's the back line there. I'm not complete. Like, they've all got really good fixtures, bar Trippier, but just the rotation and stuff, it's a little bit of a worry. But either way, in midfield, we've got Rashford, who's got Leicester at home, Fernandes, who's got Leicester at home, Ødegaard, who's got Villa away, and then Saka, who's got Villa away. So really, really like this midfield. Again, I am still missing Mahrez and De Bruyne and stuff who have got Forest away, but again, they potentially could get rotated. I know it's a really nice fixture on paper, but the rotation is so likely in the City lineup that I'd rather have 90-minute men, and Saka, Ødegaard, Fernandes and Rashford are going to be playing 90 minutes. I've got Fernandes who's on pens, Saka who's on pens. Again, no City players, but I'm feeling confident about that midfield. I really, really like it. It looks good on paper. They've both got really nice fixtures. Well, they've all got really nice fixtures. So, yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we do get something from this game. Again, the only worry is that I don't have City players, but at the same time, there could be a lot of rotation for that Forest game because Pep should win it relatively easily. I know it's at the City ground, and we have been pretty good at home this season. But it is City. They trashed us in the reverse fixture, which Haaland did play in as well, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that's the midfield. Up top, we've got Mitrovic, who's got Brighton away, Kane, who's got West Ham at home, and then Haaland, who's got Forest away. So yeah, Mitrovic is just a player that I want to get rid of so much, but he doesn't blank in 25, so I'll be keeping him for that game. In an ideal world, though, I could get rid of him for that game. If Patterson is back, which I was really annoyed that he wasn't on the bench last night, because obviously he was pictured in training, but he wasn't even on the bench, so I don't know. We need him to be back in Game Week 24 and for him to start that game. Otherwise, I'll have to get rid of him. But if he does play that Leeds at home game, or even gets like 40 minutes or a cameo or something, I'll probably just play him and not bring in Tarkowski. But either way, we've got, yeah, Mitrovic, who's got Brighton away. And again, if Patterson does play, I can use one of my transfers to get rid of Mitrovic for no hit, and I can bring in Darwin Núñez or something. I know that Jota's back and stuff like that, so his minutes might be a little bit managed, but I think he's still hopefully relatively a decent option. Kane at home to West Ham, expecting some points in that game, and then yeah, Haaland away at Forest. If it seems that, you know, Haaland isn't going to be playing in that game because he potentially could be injured, you know, he might not even play the Arsenal game, and if that's the case, then I'll probably just captain Kane. I think if Haaland is injured that week, it'll be really, really interesting to see where all the captaincies go, because like a lot of people will be on Rashford, Fernandes, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Kane. Like the captaincy will be really divided if Haaland doesn't play that week. Anyway, the bench, we've got Ward, who's got United away, we've got White, who's got Villa away, Andreas Pereira, who's got Brighton away, and then obviously Patterson, who is currently injured but apparently back on the 18th of February, seen in training. Really, really need him to play in that Game Week 24 game, because it just kind of gives me an extra transfer I can use on Mitrovic. Like, Mitrovic doesn't have the worst fixture in the world. Like, he's got Wolves at home. So I'm not against playing him in that at all. Like, I've got to play him in that because obviously it's a blank. But if I can use a transfer to bring in Darwin Núñez instead, who will have 2 fixtures, I'd rather do that. I know Mitrovic is still potentially on penalties and stuff, but he just doesn't look with it at the moment. So if I could get rid of him, I would love to. So that's how my team is shaping up for Game Week 24. Let's move on to transfers and how my team is going to be shaping up for like the next couple of game weeks and stuff. So we have 1.8 mil in the bank. Obviously, I've got 1 free transfer. And I mean, looking at my team this week, like, it looks fine. Like, I don't need to make any transfers, really. Like, who do I get rid of in this team? If anyone, I'd probably get rid of Ake, but Forest away, like, I've got to play him for that. And if he doesn't play, and, you know, hopefully he doesn't come on, then I've got White coming off the bench, who's got Villa away anyway. And all of the rest of my players will definitely play. So, yeah, it looks like a pretty strong team on paper this week. So don't really think I need to make a transfer this week, and that'll give me 2 transfers for the blank Game Week 25, which will really help me out, because one of the players that I'll have to get rid of is either Fernandes, Rashford, Shaw, or Trippier. It's not going to be Trippier because I've got quite a lot of money saved up in him. It's not going to be Rashford because I've got a lot of money saved up in him. It's going to either be Shaw or Fernandes, and it depends what my options are, really. Like, one of my transfers has to go on Patterson, so if he's not back for Game Week 25 and he's not starting, like, even if he is back for Game Week 24, and Coleman still plays or whatever, then, you know, I'll probably get rid of him. And Tarkowski looks like a really good aerial threat as well. I mean, he hit the post last night as well, so I do not mind playing him at all. And I mean, I even think you should play him against Leeds as well. Like, if you think that your City defender is going to get benched, if you do own Akanji or Ake or Lewis, and you think he's going to get benched, I don't mind the option of bringing in Tarkowski and playing him at Leeds at home. I think that's a really nice fixture. I know Everton looked quite poor last night, but Tarkowski just offers you that aerial threat, and just looks really, really good. Plus, he's got a double in 25 as well, so I don't hate the idea of bringing in Tarkowski this week. But either way, for my Game Week 20, like, we're on Game Week 25 transfers. Going to roll in 24 onto Game Week 25. One of my transfers is going to be used on Tarkowski, unless Patterson is back. If Patterson's back, then I don't have to do this move. And then I have to get rid of either Fernandes, Shaw, Trippier, or Rashford. It's going to be Shaw or Fernandes, so I can either bring in another defender or a midfielder. So I don't have enough money to go up to Salah, which is really, really annoying. I could take a hit, but I don't know. Maybe I could, maybe I shouldn't. I'm not really too sure, but it does kind of suck not having too many doublers in this game week, because quite a few players are doubling. Like, you've got Wolves doubling, Tarkowski, you've got Everton doubling, Liverpool doubling. Like, there's quite a few teams that are doubling. The only other option really is I could get rid of Fernandes and bring in Gakpo. I don't think I'd ever be saying this if he didn't score last night, but it depends on his minutes, I guess. Like, if he's still getting like, he got 79 last night where he scored. His minutes are around like 80. And if he gets that every game week, I don't mind bringing him in as a bit of a punt. And then I can just bench him in Game Week 26. He's got Bournemouth for 27. And then I can just yeah, and then he's got Fulham in 28, and then I'll just wildcard in 29. I mean, actually, I think he's probably going to be blanking in 28 anyway, because I think it's likely that Fulham and Liverpool do. But on another day, I kind of want to bring in a player that is not going to be blanking in 28, because it just kind of saves me from using a transfer down the line. And there's not that many decent options. Like, I'd bring in a Chelsea player, but you know, I wish that João Felix was a midfielder, but unfortunately he's a forward. Otherwise, I'd definitely bring him in. Mount is, I guess, a little bit of an option, but I don't really want to bring him. They've got some nice fixtures from game week 26 to 28. Like, he's got Leeds, Leicester, and Everton. But if he's going to play those games, like, I don't know, he only played 22 against West Ham, played 74 against Fulham. I don't think it's the safest option. Now, Enzo is also a player that you could bring in. He is only 5 mil. Which would be pretty nice, because he does look like a sure starter. You know, he's played 90 both games already. If he keeps playing, and, you know, he's playing well as well, I might bring him in as just a bit of a punt, because he's only 5 mil, and I can easily bring him in. He's going to have the blanks and stuff, so I'm not completely against that. Yeah, if I decide to keep Fernandez, I could just bring in another defender and just play 4-3-3 or whatever. And yeah, that would mean like get rid of Shaw, and I've got 6.6 to bring in a player. I don't think I can bring in Robertson because he's 6.8, so I couldn't do that, which is really, really unfortunate. So I guess I could just bring in a Liverpool defender that week and just get rid of Shaw and bring in someone like, I don't know, if Van Dijk's back, then I'll bring back Van Dijk, because obviously they've got, I mean, I wouldn't play him in the Newcastle game. This is the game week 25. I'd play him for Crystal Palace and Wolves. I'd bring in Van Dijk, and I'd just be able to do that. And that gives me another doubler. So I'd have Tarkowski doubling, I'd have Van Dijk doubling. And then it was not the worst situation in the world. And then I can just play everyone else in like 27, 20, and 29. But again, Van Dijk doesn't play most likely in game week 28, which isn't great. So maybe even Reece James as an option. I know that he doesn't double, and they do have Tottenham, but I don't mind Reece James at all, and having double Chelsea defense for Leeds, Leicester, and Everton, I think that's pretty nice. So I could even do that if I really wanted to. He doesn't blank in game week 25. I know he's playing Spurs, so I have Kane against Chelsea, but I think it's just kind of like thinking ahead. But I don't know, maybe I can attack the doubles. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, if Patterson is back, then that just gives me an extra transfer, so I could easily not bring in Van Dijk. And let's say Patterson's back, I could get rid of Mitrovic that week for game week 25, and I can bring in Darwin Núñez, and that's one of my transfers. And then my other transfer, I would just bring in, I don't know, like a Villa player or something. Like, I'd bring in Mings, but he wasn't even in the squad. So let's just say Mings is in the squad for whatever reason. Like, hopefully he's all right. I could just do that or something, and just give me another player who doesn't blank in 25 or 28. Like, Villa players are pretty nice. I could even bring in a Villa midfielder as well, bring in like a Bailly or something like that, if I wanted to. But yeah, I don't know. We'll kind of cross that bridge when we get to it. But I think I'm just going to roll this week. There's no reason. This team on paper is very, very nice, and I'm pretty confident with it. But that's going to be my game week 24 team selection. Again, might change my mind if Haaland's injured and stuff, and things happen in this game against Arsenal, and then yeah, could easily change everything. But as of right now, we're rolling. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, leave a comment. What are you doing with your game week 24 team? Subscribe if you're brand new. It's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.